Hello, and welcome to this episode of Business with Papa. I'm David Bland. As I always do at the beginning, I want to encourage you to look at our first episode so you can judge as to whether the advice you might get from me has merit. I want to encourage you to do that with everything you get off the internet. Lots of people are saying lots of things, some of which has no truth to it at all. Today's episode, we're going to cover the idea of what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur, which is, I'm sure, what most of you would like to do. So I guess I'd been in business for about a year or so, and I had an associate from my previous employment ask me a question one day when I ran into him after I've been running my company for about a year. And he said to me something that really, frankly, took me back. And I wasn't sure what the answer was, of course, and frankly, I'd never thought about it. And what he said to me was, after several conversational items, he said, "So, David, what's it take to be a successful entrepreneur?" And I was frankly shocked. I had to reflect on it, and I gave him an answer after I had done that briefly. But first, I want to tell you this. Okay? It's also there's lots of things it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. First and foremost, you actually have to have a plan. Okay? If you're going into this without a plan, you're basically trying to travel somewhere without knowing what the destination is. You might be driving down the road or flying on a plane or however you're moving, but are you actually getting closer to what you want or your destination? If you don't know the answer to that, how can you? Except by luck. Luck's not a way to try to be an entrepreneur. So a plan is vital. Hard work is essential. It is not an easy role to take, as you have seen in other episodes that I've spoken about. And finally, determination is another big piece. You have to actually want it badly, and be willing to do what it takes to get it. I don't mean illegal activities. I'm talking about the work hours, the dedication, the focus, the ability to adapt, all of those things that say I'm determined to succeed. But none of those things are actually what I told my friend. After reflecting on it for a little bit, I'm going to tell you what I actually think, other than those simple and typical answers, is actually the answer. Fear. That's what I told him. I think the secret is fear. At the time, I was running an engineering consulting business and a little bit of construction support. So I was afraid that I wouldn't win jobs and then had no way to pay my staff. I was afraid I would win more jobs than I thought and had no staff to deliver the promises that we had made. I was afraid I'd win so much work that I'd run out of cash to pay that staff before my client started paying me. Hopefully you're getting the idea. Mostly, I was afraid of both failure and tremendous success. And so what did I do? I fell back to those things I mentioned at the beginning. Hard work, determination, and a plan, and a willingness to change it. Okay, but the real truth was, I was afraid of everything. So if you're afraid, you're not alone. I think most of us are. Let that fear help you, not enable you or make you dysfunctional. I want you to be able to channel the fear of all those challenges that you face. It will help you keep focused. It did me. It will help you adapt. It did me. And hopefully, it will help you succeed, which it did me. And maybe a year from now, you'll have your own friend ask you, what makes a successful entrepreneur? and you can tell them fear. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that is something you can use. I want to invite you back for other sessions. And until next time, this is Papa trying to help.